Welcome to Tia's Table, where we talk about making fitness and wellness doable for busy women like you and me. Looking for healthy meal ideas, workout motivation, and good conversation? Don't worry, I got you, girl. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey, girl. Welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. Now, let's just go ahead and address the late girlfriend in the room. I know we were supposed to have a call girl, I don't even know when at this point. I know it wasn't today. I know I'm calling you way behind schedule, but give your girl a little grace. I've had a lot going on. I've been super busy, and literally I felt like every day that I was supposed to sit down and do this, something crazy would come up and I would have to do something else, such as life. Like, being an adult is way more work and effort than it truly needs to be. And it's getting in the way of me doing some of these really fun, cool things that I like to do, like recording this podcast. So, I haven't been late too often to our calls. So hopefully, no one is upset about it. But thank you to those of you that did reach out to me and say like, hey girl, why haven't you called me? You said I see you active on social media, but you're not picking up that phone though. I appreciate those kind of messages. And I know that means deep down inside, like we are good girlfriends. Like I know we are. So, that's great. And today we have a very good conversation lined up. So trust me, it was worth the wait. It's going to be a lot of information. So much so that this is going to be like a series of podcast episodes where we talk about how we're eating. And I hope that you're able to take this information and apply it to your own program in a way that allows you to see results. I mean, I don't know, girl. We said all season we were going to be trying things out to see if they truly had an impact on any of the stuff that we're doing, right? And I think this particular set of episodes is really going to be beneficial to most of us, right? If we all can have the discipline to actually do it. Because girl, at the end of the day, it's work. And I know people are going to listen to this and they're going to be like, girl, Tia, no, I don't want to do this. But let me tell you, I've been doing it for the past couple of weeks, and I can't wait to share my results with you. But before we get into all of that, if you are new here, if this is your first time meeting me, hello, I'm Tia, a certified group fitness instructor and behavior change specialist. I help women develop healthier habits that they can maintain for the rest of their life that align with the goals that they have as far as health, wellness, fitness, and all of the things that make us feel lovely and beautiful. If you are someone who is in need of that type of assistance, you need a little bit of accountability, you need to create some momentum, you are looking to be more consistent with your goals, girl, reach out to me at tiavfitness@gmail.com. You can visit my website, tiavfitness.com, or shoot me a message on Instagram at tiavfitness, and I would be more than happy to talk to you to see if we would be a good fit to work with one another. Love that. So let's get into what is on our table right now. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, then you already know what I'm about to say. Girl, let me tell you. Well, let's back up. I'm doing an online group coaching program for the very first time, and we have a group phone call every Sunday. It's called our sisterhood session, where we kind of just chat about the upcoming week, how things are going, how we're feeling, all of that good stuff, right? In one of the calls, I can't remember the exact conversation, but we started discussing air fryers. And people can never believe that I was not an air fryer owner. People are like, oh my gosh, girl, I thought you of all people would have had an air fryer. And I'm like, no, the way my efforts to have a clear and clean kitchen are set up, I try not to buy more kitchen gadgets than I feel I'm actually going to use, right? I try to make sure that I'm not buying things and just having them sitting out, because that would drive me nuts. So no, I didn't have an air fryer because I didn't think I didn't think I was going to use it. Because in my mind, I'm like, I don't really fry food. Like, my family will tell you, I don't fry food. So I really didn't understand why I personally would need an air fryer, because I think I was thinking about it way too much. Well, during that phone call, I was told that there was a cute air fryer, so that if it was sitting out on the counter, at least it was cute. Like, it would be aesthetically pleasing, and maybe I wouldn't feel like it was, just some bulky piece of stainless steel just kind of sitting out that was never getting used and collecting dust. And then I would have to wipe it down and all of the things, right? And so I was like, well, that one is cute. She sent me the link. It was less than $100. And she was telling me about all of the great things. And then other women on the call were chiming in saying, yes. There were a few other women on the call, though, who also were not air fryer owners. So that group was kind of like, oh, we'll believe it when we see it. But then the other group was so adamant that like everybody needs an air fryer. And I'm like, well, I think the air fryer might have been like $80. I don't know. I'm like, well, for $80, it's really cute. If I end up, using it and then putting it away and pulling it back out, it's fine, right? Or I'll just give it to somebody who really wants one if I find it's not for me. You guys, I ordered the air fryer right after that call. It came 2 days later. I ordered it from Walmart. It came 2 days later, and I have been using it ever since. Now, let's do a quick rundown of all of the things I have made. I made cinnamon rolls for the children one morning before school. I made hibachi, salmon hibachi. I've made that like a million times. It comes out amazing every time. I've made steak hibachi. I've made breakfast potatoes. I've made bacon. Someone sent me a link for doing boiled eggs because I eat boiled eggs every morning. And one of my kids takes boiled egg whites to school in his lunchbox every day. And somebody was like, oh, you need to do your boiled eggs in the air fryer. And I'm like, ooh, girl. So I need to look that up on TikTok. She sent me the info. I just need to pull it up and see. But you guys, I have been missing out this whole time. And I would just like to say, I am woman enough to admit when I am on the opposite side of right, because we're never WRONG, right? I'm woman enough to admit it. And so I would just like to say that if you ever spoke to me about an air fryer and how great it was and all the wings you were making before this, all the fried fish y'all were having, all of that before, and I was just like, girl, no, that's crazy. I'm sorry, right? I didn't know what I was missing. But I realize it now. I realize now that I can literally have hibachi in 12 minutes. Do you know the closest hibachi restaurant to me probably takes me at least 15 to 20 minutes to even get to it? A decent one, right? I can have fajitas in 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. The way Chipotle is always getting my order wrong. No, ma'am. No more. I can have breakfast potatoes. My kids love breakfast potatoes, but that was a whole thing for me on Saturday mornings, right? Warming up the oven, chopping the potatoes, getting them in the oven. I mean, they're delicious when they're done, but they take like 45 minutes to do. And it would be a whole thing. They had breakfast potatoes in 20 minutes. The amount of time that air fryer has given back to me is worth its weight in Walmart dollars. Everybody needs one. Put it on your Christmas list. If you don't have it, if you're on the fence, if you too are an unbeliever, girl, put it on your Christmas list. That way you don't necessarily have to buy it yourself. And that way, if you don't like it, it's no big deal, right? Put it on your Christmas list. I would say everyone should get the same one that I have because it cooks really fast. I find that the cook times for the meals that I'm making that I'm finding on TikTok, my cook times are a little bit faster than what I'm seeing people share on social media. So I think mine must be a really strong one, like a really good one. Mine doesn't smell when it's cooking. Mine doesn't emit smoke and steam. Mine cleans really easily. Like you literally just kind of rinse and wipe it out like with hot soapy water once you're done using it. And it's perfect. And not to mention it comes in like a million colors with the pretty gold handle. And girl, when it's sitting out on your countertop, you just look at that thing with nothing but love and admiration because you're in a deep relationship with your air fryer now. I am you. We are we. It's me. I'm the one that's in love. You can't say nothing bad to me about that air fryer. Drew Barrymore deserves all of the things for coming up with something so lovely and amazing. So that's what's been on my table this month. If you can't cook it in an air fryer, girl, I don't want it. I don't want to get it out of here if you can't make it in the air fryer, right? So hopefully you too are in love with your air fryer, or you get one and we can be in this air fryer romance situationship together. That's what's on the table. All right. So this month, we're going to be talking a lot about how we're eating. And I don't mean how we're eating in terms of how many meals or what's actually on your plate, like the actual meal planning. No, because we've talked about meal planning for a long time now. And I feel like at this point, we're ready to kind of step our game up and talk about something that I think I've been avoiding talking to you all about for a very long time, mainly because I wasn't sure of the best way to roll out the information. But girl, I've been in school. I've been learning my stuff. Your girl's got a 99% average in class. And the only reason I don't have 100% average is because one day I was taking a test and my children were talking to me at the same time, and I misread a question and I missed one on my test, which brought my average down from a 100 to a 99. And I'm not salty about it. You know, I'm okay. It's fine. That 99 is still an A, but it was a 100 until those children started talking to me. But anyway, in class, we've been learning a lot about the science behind nutrition. I mean, after all, that's what the class is about. It's a nutrition science-based class that teaches us everything from your body systems and how they work, which has been very enlightening. And I cannot wait to talk to you about that maybe after the start of the new year. And right now we're currently learning about like macros and metabolism and how energy transfers from like food to the energy you actually need to live life and all of that. So I thought it would be interesting to go have a BMI test done, a body mass index test. You know, you sit on a body analyzer and it prints out all of this information that basically reads you for filth, right? It tells you everything you would need to know about your body. Everything from how much you weigh to how much of that weight is water versus muscle versus fat, how much each of your limbs weighs and how much muscle and fat is in each one of your limbs, where you might be holding the majority of your fat. It will tell you your daily caloric intake and how much your body like burns each day, which is very, very helpful for coming up with how you're going to eat. So let's talk about that. Let's break down the test, where you can go get it, if it's, you know, something that we should be doing, what I thought about it and how my experience with. Now, in full disclosure, this is not the first time I've had one of these tests done. The very first time I had one done, I was in college, and I can't remember why or how I ended up having one done in college. But needless to say, who cares about that one? Because that literally was in 2002 when I was in the best natural shape of my life without even trying, right? Okay, fast forward to my stint as a military wife. When you live on a military base, you get access to all kinds of fitness information and gyms and just stuff, right? And I would get one of these same tests done every year, as close to my birthday as I could, just to get like an overview of, you know, how things were shaping up from the inside out, right? And they were helpful because they always put into perspective whether or not my working out and eating right was doing what I wanted it to do, right? But I never really read into any of the individual results, and I was never truly invested in any of it because at the time, like, I wasn't doing this as a job. Coming into this test now, knowing everything I know from coaching to being in that course and everything in between, I started taking a good look at some of those results. And I want to point out to you some of the things that I think you should take a look at when you go, if you decide to go get one of these tests done. So, number one, why do I think this is something that people should do? Well, if you go have a body composition test done, you'll see a true indicator of your inner health that can show the impact that your fitness program or your weight loss efforts is having on your body over time, right? So let's say you go Monday, because maybe your gym offers these for free. Like the gym that I go to, they offer them for free. Let's say you go, you have one of these done, you get the printout, you see all the things that it's going to say, right? And then you go back in a month to see what has changed. What I love about that is that, number one, it keeps us from totally relying on the scale, right? Number two, it breaks everything down in such a way that you will literally be able to see, for example, if your legs lost any weight or if your legs develop more muscle. The same for your arms, the same for your back. The same for your abdominal area. You'll be able to pinpoint whether or not your training is actually working. What I love about that even more is that based on the printout, you can format your training to target the areas that need you the most, right? So after seeing my printout, I know that my back needs more attention. Like my legs were equally fit, right? They had the same numbers, same muscle mass percentage, like everything was fine there. The same with my arms. But my back definitely was showing more, or like a higher fat percentage than muscle, which lets me know like, oh, Tia, yeah, you need to have back days. And when I thought about that, I was like, because girl, right now you totally don't. Like I do total body workouts and I definitely lift weights and do strength and all of that. But can I say for certain that I'm actually targeting my back and having like a back day, how some people have a leg day? Oh girl, absolutely not. I know I haven't been doing that. So when the printout told me that, I was like, oh yeah, this is legit, because I know what I do and I know I haven't been doing that. So that to me is worth more than whatever it might actually cost you to go get this test done. And we'll talk about pricing right at the end. So that's some of the reasons as to why everyone should go do this, because it's highly informative and it'll tell you everything you need to know about your body. So all you do when you get to your testing site, they'll have you take off your shoes. Now, for some of the places that I've had this done, I did have to wear like biker shorts and a sports bra or like a bathing suit or whatever. Like they, kind of requested or recommended for the best results, you do something like that. At my gym, and I'm thinking this is just for privacy reasons because the scale is kind of like out in the open. It's not like in anyone's office or anything like that. All they had me do, girl, was take my shoes off. And I got this test done like later in the afternoon, which I low key kind of didn't like because no one wants to weigh themselves after you've had like, I don't know, 50 ounces of water and breakfast and lunch, right? But it is what it is. So I took my shoes off. You literally step on the scale or sit down in the little egg-shaped machine, because I've done both. You let it run. Now, if you sit in the egg-shaped machine, that takes like a few minutes. If you stand on the scale and you hold the bars in your hand, that's like seconds. Like you step on and you step right off, and it prints out everything you need to know. So the process in and of itself is very, very simple, and we'll go over what we want to look at from the printout. So when you get your printout, obviously most people are going to immediately look at their weight, right? So you'll get to see how much you weigh, but you would have already had a good idea about that before you got to your testing site. The first thing we want to look at is our body fat percentage and our body fat mass, right? Body fat percentage is the proportion of fat to the total weight of your body. Body fat mass is the actual weight of fat in your body. Why is this something that we need to know? Well, girl, let me tell you why. Because when you step on that scale at home and you see that number, you get some people, I'm not going to say you specifically, but you know, we get in our feelings about it. I know I do, right? I'll be like, like, is any of this worth it? Does it even matter? What am I doing with all my time? Because here we are, right? This test allowed me to see how much of what I weigh is muscle and how much of what I weigh is fat. And once I saw that, I felt a lot better about myself because I was like, oh, Tia, the majority of your body is muscle. So now when you weigh yourself, you don't need to care. Like, girl, just move on with your life, right? And I'm sure that is true for most people who are consistent with their workout plan and the way that you eat, no matter where you are on your fitness journey. Now, obviously, if you're on day one, depending on what type of lifestyle you've been living up to day one, you might see some different results. But if you've been at it for a while and the scale still is like an issue for you, I would highly encourage you to go get one of these done, because you might be looking in the mirror and looking at your physique and thinking that because you don't see squares on your stomach and like super ripped arms and super ripped legs, that nothing is working, that you don't have any muscle, when really all of us look different, right? Everybody is not going to have the same type of physique. We're just not, right? Everyone's body is going to show up differently doing all of the things that we're doing, right? But what this test will tell you is that, like, oh, girl, you might weigh whatever, but the majority of this is muscle. So, like, what is it? What are we even talking about? What are we discussing right now with ourselves, right? And that could be very reassuring for a lot of people. And I would say that the same is true in reverse. If you step on this machine and you get the printout and it says that the majority of what you got going on might be body fat, then that lets you know, okay, I really do need to kind of stick with my program, give it a chance to work. I need to maybe develop some patience, gain that momentum to see if when I come back in a month, do I start to see my body respond to all that I'm doing, right? So what does that tell us, right? Why is this important? This is important because of how energy transfers and how all of this weaves together to make us be able to do all of the things that we're going to do, right? When we're eating, what we're eating, those calories that we take in, they transfer into the energy that we need to live and exist and to absolutely work out, right? Energy is burned through physical activity and our general bodily functions. If you consume the same number of calories that you burn, all of those calories will be converted into energy. But, girl, if you consume more than you're burning, those calories will be stored as fat, which is how you will get that body fat ratio or the body fat numbers in your tests, right? If that stored fat is never converted into energy, like by working out or doing something, being active, then it'll create body fat on your body. And that's where our extra fat comes from. So when you take your test, you see your body fat percentage and your body fat mass, you can kind of take a look at how active you're being. And I don't mean by just workouts. I mean by how active you are during the day. A lot of people sit down all day for work, right? If there's an opportunity for you to get up and kind of stretch your legs maybe every 2 hours while you're at work, I mean, that's more movement to your body. If you're able to take a short little stroll on your lunch break or while your kids are at, dance practice or whatever, anytime that there's an opportunity to kind of move around a little bit more, that will truly have an impact on the body fat percentage and the body fat numbers you see in your test. Because what we do know about that particular part of this test is that the higher your body fat mass or percentage is, the more likely you might end up having some issues medically, like down the road. And we're trying to avoid those at all costs. So we definitely want to see that number go down and the muscle numbers go up, right? Which brings us to another type of fat that they'll show you on this test. It's called visceral fat. Visceral fat is located deep in your core area, right? And it protects vital organs and all that stuff, which is a good thing. And even if your body weight or your body fat stays the same, for many of us, as we get older, the way our body distributes fat will change, and it is more likely to shift to that abdominal area, right? So if you take this test and you see that your visceral fat number is a little high, maybe that is something that will signal to you like, hey, I got to get my eating under control, right? Because girl, we don't want to have heart issues, high blood pressure, and like all of the things, right? So that's what's really important about that particular reading on the test. It'll tell you how much of your fat is currently being stored in your tummy, which for many of us is our target area anyway. Everybody's always trying to get rid of belly fat, and this test will tell you exactly how much of that you might have. So those are the top two things that I think we should be paying attention to. Now, something else that in my opinion is as equally important to the body fat percentage and the body fat mass is your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, right? Your BMR is the daily minimum level of energy or calories your body requires when it is at rest in order to function effectively, right? Your BMR, I think, is the first thing you should take a look at when you're trying to determine how you're going to eat, right? Your BMR is what you should be using to calculate macros and to calculate the calories that you want to eat every day. You create the caloric deficit that we hear everybody talking about. We create that by working out and being active. So let's talk about that for a second before I talk more about the BMR. So for example, if you get on this machine and it tells you that your BMR is like 1,500 calories, right? That means that you should be eating as close as you can to 1,500 calories a day. And everybody's macros might be different. Your carbs, proteins, and fats that you're allotted every day. For people on a weight loss journey, that might be different for everybody, but that 1,500 calories, is what you should be striving to get in every day, because that is what your body is telling you it needs to just function without you doing nothing extra. Now, of course, if you're already working out and you're already a really active person, the 1,500 is the 1,500, right? But if you're a person that's day one, like you're new to working out or you haven't worked out in years or whatever, that 1,500 is saying like, hey girl, before you do anything extra, like make sure it's some gas in this tank, because if not, girl, when you get to the gym, I'm going to embarrass you by making you pass out. That's what that number is saying to you, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting in the 1,500 calories, that you're getting as close to that as you can every day, that you're following whatever your macros might be. And we're going to talk about macros in greater detail in another episode. But you want to get as close to that 1,500 calories as you can get. And you create the caloric deficit by being active, right? Some people may have a different opinion about this. And some people might say like, hey, girl, the caloric deficit, we can create that by just taking off some of these calories. And in certain programs and based on who you are, I think that that would be absolutely okay. Let's say you've been working out now for about, 6 months, right? And maybe you feel like you're starting to plateau, or you've been stuck at the same weight for a while. Okay, well then maybe we could shave 100 calories off of your caloric intake, right? But it would not be anything drastic, or at least I wouldn't recommend it being anything drastic, because what that says to me is, oh, that means she's about to start putting less gas in her tank. And if she's super active, or she lives a busy lifestyle, or she's a person who starts her day really early and maybe she's not getting as much sleep, or for many different reasons, I would be less likely to recommend someone not giving themselves as much food as they probably could be getting all throughout the day, because your body needs the food to create the energy that you need to do all of this. So if you ever feel sluggish, tired, like you need a nap, like, oh my gosh, I never had that. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. If we are in that place, then we might need to take a look. We might need to download one of these apps and start tracking how many calories we're getting to make sure that we're eating enough to even fuel our bodies for the day that we're living, right? Which I know sounds very strange, but based on what I've learned about myself over these past couple of weeks, I'm like, oh yeah, Tia, you just weren't eating enough. Like I wasn't eating enough. In an effort to see some change in my physique, I was using an app. I was tracking everything that I was eating. But even based on, because the app will have you fill out that little questionnaire, but it's not customized to you beyond what you currently weigh, how old you are, and what you wish to weigh. And they try to get a good grip on how active you are by asking you, like, how often do you work out and what your lifestyle is like, right? The difference between that and this test that I took at the gym and that you can take somewhere in your own neighborhood or community is that it's going to tell you exactly like how many calories you need or how many calories your body is already using every day for you to just live life, right? So you want to make sure you're getting as close to that as possible, that number, whatever that number is for you. And then you want to make sure that you're being active enough to create a calorie deficit. So like for me, I think I get about a little over 1,500 calories a day, right? And then I have my macros set based on that. Or the guy at my gym was nice enough to tell me exactly based on my printout. And I don't think he was supposed to do this. I think I just got this for free, but he was nice enough to sit down and say like, oh, based on everything I'm seeing on your printout, like you have a lot of muscle and you're using a lot of energy every day. Somebody like you should not be having the concerns that I was sharing with him, meaning that I feel like I work out a lot, but like, girl, what is happening? Like, I feel like it's taking forever for me to see some notable change. And after sharing that with him, he broke down for me what some new macros would be. He definitely said, based on this app, if you were using this app, then you're not eating enough. Kid you not, when I left the gym, I immediately started eating based on my new calories and my new macros. And I lost 3 pounds in like a week. And he said that would happen. He was like, right now, I told him, I was like, right now I'm losing like 1 pound to maybe 1.5 pounds every week. And that's not even every week. Some weeks I don't lose anything. And he was like, well, no, if this printout is accurate, based on what I'm telling you to do, he was like, you should be losing 3 pounds a week easy. He was like, and whenever you start to plateau, you need to come back here and we'll adjust it. And I did. I lost 3 pounds last week by doing what he said I needed to do, right? So I encourage everybody, when you take your test, pay attention to the BMR and use that to make food decisions. When you're meal planning and all of that, use that to make the food decisions that line up with your goals. Now, other reasons why BMR is important. Well, BMR, like we already said, is the daily minimum of energy or calories that your body is going to require when at rest, including sleeping, girl, in order for you to function effectively, right? We already got that part. Now, increasing muscle mass will help speed up your BMR. A person with a high BMR burns more calories at rest than a person with a low BMR. Meaning, let's say, and I don't want nobody to come at me about this. Please don't, because I think people think that I be dance fitness shaming people. And I really don't. Like, I'm a fitness instructor, and I think anytime you can work out is a good thing. I think anything you fall in love with that makes you want to work out and move your body is an amazing thing. But what I have always said, if you've ever been in any of my classes, I have always said you cannot solely rely on that for long-term, like, maintenance of your body, right? doing cardio is fantastic. It's great. Everyone should do it because heart health is a real thing and it is a silent killer, and everyone should have a strong, healthy heart, right? We all got that. But girl, let me tell you, if you want to see some results and you want all of the things to be thanging and popping, you need to lift some weights. You need to go to some Pilates. And I hate using the word need. I feel like that's kind of like a little sassy, right? But it's true. Like if you want to see the results that I think all of us want to see, strength training has got to be something that you become more comfortable with doing. So whether that's you getting some dumbbells or kettlebells or whatever, and maybe you start doing some of that stuff at home just to become more familiar with the equipment. Maybe that's you at your gym taking the time to have a tour of the weight section and the different machines, and you start easing your way into weights that way. But at some point, we got to start doing some strengthening and some toning that goes a little bit beyond, I think, what most people might be doing. If you're into boot camp, if you're into CrossFit, if any of that sounds appealing to you, then body weight exercises are totally okay, right? Body weight exercises can definitely get you there too. We just got to be doing them consistently enough. And I feel like and I'm guilty of this too. Like I'm super guilty of feeling like, oh, it's time for me to work out. I'll start a really good playlist. I'll get on that treadmill, and an hour later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been running and walking this whole time, and now I'm out of workout time. Like I might have 15 to 20 minutes left, and it's like, well, girl, what you gonna do with 15 to 20 minutes? Lift what? Like you don't have time. So I try to do what I can, but then it's over. When really my training needs to be more balanced, right? So getting more muscle mass, increasing that muscle mass will help speed up your metabolic rate. If you feel like your metabolism is slow, pick up some weights. Start lifting something. About 70% of all of the calories consumed each day are used for your basal metabolism. Increasing your muscle mass will help raise your BMR, which in turn will increase the number of calories you burn, and that will help decrease body fat levels, right? So it all works together. It's like a little hamster wheel of, oh my gosh, not again. It is. It's truly, and that's why consistency, I think, is so important, because some days you might not necessarily hit maybe the weights in the way that you want to, but you do cardio, but your food is on point. And so that's a good day, right? Some days you might be like a rock star at weightlifting or doing Pilates or whatever, strength training, but you didn't really feel like walking because now it's cold outside. And I don't care how pretty and fluffy that Sherpa is, sometimes it's not enough for us to be out there, right? So maybe your cardio starts to diminish this time of year because like what's happening? Because maybe you don't feel comfortable going to the gym yet. Maybe you don't have a cardio equipment at home. So you try to do what you can through YouTube, but maybe this time of year is when your strength training really could pick up. And you can track it and see if creating that additional muscle, really cut down on some of the fat. I know that's what I'm doing right now. Right now, and I guess this could go into the workout report. Right now, I'm doing exactly what that piece of paper told me to do. I'm eating the calories, I'm eating the macros, and once or twice a week, I'm making it my business to make it to the gym to do some targeted back workouts. Because if that's where my body is apparently holding the unwanted fat, then I need to make sure I'm targeting that part of my body. Could I do that at home? Sure. However, my dumbbells and my weights at home probably are not heavy enough for me to really make that worth my time. So going to the gym is something that's going to be super important to me over the next few weeks. So I guess this is a great time to go right into the workout report. I hope we found this to be helpful and not too overwhelming. I think that this test is something that everybody should do, right? I think that if you can get it done for free, definitely check out as many places in your community as you can before like doing a paid test. Because based on what I've seen as far as pricing goes, I've seen everything, I think, from about $79 on up. So I've seen it for like over $200. Do I think that price is worth it? And I'm going to say the fitness nerd in me says yes, absolutely. Because once you learn that information about yourself, I don't think this is something that you necessarily have to go do like every single month, right? But I think it's good to have a baseline. Kind of like when you go to the doctor and they give you labs or you have your mammogram done. Like at some point, you're just getting a baseline for where you are today so that you can make the changes you need to maybe have better or different numbers later on, right? I think that is what you'll get from having this test done. It might be, it might cost you a little something to do it, but once you have that information, you can use it as a baseline to make changes today that could definitely have a big impact on your program. And then you just kind of see how things go from there. And remember, there is no failure, only feedback. So the worst thing that could happen is that you'll get this test done. You'll learn all this stuff about yourself. And let's say you continue to lose weight the way you already have been. Not failure, just feedback about your body. Now you just know additional things about your body. How much water your body is storing, how much body fat you have, how much muscle you have. They even broke down like how much muscle and fat was in like each individual different parts of my body. So, it's just so much information that you can use to really help customize and tailor whatever program you're doing to fit you, right? I would say if you work out with a personal trainer, or if you were thinking about getting one for the upcoming year, 2023, definitely have one of these tests done, because that's something that you could give to the person that's going to be working with you and say, hey, I already know this is my BMR. So these are the amount of calories I need. So create my macros around that. I already know I'm carrying excess fat that I really don't want in these different body parts. So that way they can make a program that's actually going to target the stuff that you need to be targeting. I think it's great. You can never have too much information. Too much, never too much, or whatever the great Luther Vandross said, right? It's never too much information. We can use it all to see if we can switch up what we're doing. And of course, I would say the only drawback to having the tests done is, girl, sometimes too much information is too much information. Sometimes it is too much, and we didn't need to know all of that. But that's really the only drawback that I could find, outside of course, the fact that it might not be free for everybody. So my final thoughts on that is, yes, girl, go do it if you got one in your area. Just close your eyes when you swipe and come back and tell me if you felt like it was helpful to you or not, right? Okay, so the workout report I just shared. I'm going to be counting my calories and my macros. I'm going to be going back to the gym. I'm still doing the 10,000 steps a day and the squat challenge, and I hope you are doing those things too. I'm excited about getting back into the gym once or twice a week. And you know what else I'm very excited to get back to? If I can figure it out with my time. And I feel like my time is getting shorter and shorter with each day that passes, and that kind of makes me sad. But I really want to get back on the bike. Like, I've been giving my treadmill so much love. I miss Cody and his jokes. I miss Alex and that chain. I want to get back on the bike and catch some of those bike vibes. So maybe in November, that's something that I'll be able to make happen. And then also, while I was on Twitter tweeting, I kept seeing this ad for this thing called the Flow Body. Now, last month I went to the Pilates studio and I took a reformer class. I thought it was amazing. And if that place was over here in my neck of the woods, I would be going all the time. They would have had a member out of me, because I'd be over there as many times out of the week as I could go. It was fabulous. Like, I can't even speak to how amazing it was. I understand why Lori Harvey was like, this is what I do, get out of my face, because it was great, right? but it's just too far away from me. And I just can't, with Atlanta traffic, I just can't do that to myself regularly. So for me, going to that class would definitely have to be like a special trip that I was making, like into the city and spending a good amount of my day over there and all of that. So, when I was on Twitter, I saw this at-home Pilates setup where it's like a yoga mat, but then it's got the bands, the resistant bands already like built into it. It's got the foot straps and the hand straps. It's got weights. I don't know. And it rolls up like a yoga mat. So it's not going to take up a whole lot of space in your house. And you can pretty much do reformer workouts with it. And when I pulled it up, the price was not bad for what you're getting. Now, could we get a really good yoga mat, resistance bands, and all of the things for probably less than what this system costs? Sure, absolutely. We can go to Five and Below and Marshalls and TJ Maxx and Dick's and Academy and Target and all the places, and we could source out these things, but then they wouldn't be a system that came together. And it comes with the ability to basically make it a reformer machine, right? And to me, that makes it worth the money. So I have been very intrigued by this. I've been watching the videos on YouTube. I followed their account on Instagram. I've been reading reviews, and I think I might pull that purchase and see, if we like it or not. Girl, if I decide to get one, I'll try it out and I'll come back and tell you all about it, because you might want to add that to your Christmas list too. We'll see. So finally, before we wrap up, and because this call is so late, I have a lot to talk about that is random, but also relatable. So here we go. First and foremost, we haven't spoken since Tia Mowry and her husband announced that they were breaking up. I love Tia, and it's not because we have the same name. Although when I was younger in elementary school, when that show was really popular, people will walk up to me in school and be like, "Hey, Tia, where's Tamara?" And I'd be like, "Unfortunately, I don't have any sisters, period, bruh." Like, I don't have any sisters, but ha ha ha, what a funny joke, right? I was very happy when that part of my life was over. Middle school definitely delivered me from that weak joke. But anyway, so I follow Tia on Instagram. I like her style. I think her hairstyles have really evolved, and like, she's just so cool, so funny, so quirky, and so her. I like watching her do her cooking videos. And I like seeing her in the different movies and things that she does, for work, right? I think she's a good actress. Of course, everyone probably knows her from Sister Sister, but you probably also know her from The Game. And most recently, you probably know her from Family Reunion on Netflix. All hits, all good shows. We love her, and we just want to send her all the love. We just want to celebrate her and let her know that her evolution has not gone unnoticed, okay? Because let me tell you, I noticed way before she announced anything that like her content on social media was starting to get a little bit more in line with like the stuff that I would do if, number one, I could pull my life together. Number two, I didn't think I was going to be judged for it. And number three, if, right? All of the ifs. I noticed that her music choices were changing and that her fashion was doing what it was supposed to do. And she just seemed to have this bright, bubbly light, which was already there before, but like it was glowing hard, like here recently, right? So when she announced that they were breaking up, I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes perfectly sense to me, girl. Okay. And so I had conversations with friends about this, about their breakup, and people like, what do you think happened? Because we weren't expecting. I know I felt blindsided. Not that I'm involved in their relationship at all, but I know I was blindsided by the announcement. And I think as a collective, me and my friends that I spoke to about this, we were just like, oh, she was probably just so amazing. I don't know that he could handle it, I think he's probably more of like a laid back, chill, reserved, quiet kind of guy, which, okay, that's fine. That's totally okay. She seems like a very fun personality. I don't like to use the word big personality because I think people say, oh, she's a big personality, and people have like a negative perspective when people say that. But no, I think she's probably a very fun, light up the room energy, right? And I think he was maybe not so much so. I feel like Tia was probably like a chandelier, and I feel like her husband might have been like a little nightlight. Both are lights, both are needed. One shines brighter than the other. And over time, like, girl, who needs a nightlight when you have a chandelier, right? So I think, I'm excited to see what she does next. I'm very much so team bye, Corey. Like, bye. If you couldn't get the job done, boo, get out of here. Quit wasting our good sis's time, because she seems real happy now, and maybe she'll, start doing some different things, and we'll see, as a fan base, we'll see where it goes. But we just want to celebrate her and say, hey, sis, we see you out here looking good, doing all the things, and we are clapping it up for you. Oh, I would also like to mention that I recreated one of her very popular hairstyles from Instagram, and I tagged her after I got my hair done, and she actually messaged me in my DMs and said my hair was cute. So, take that all for what you want. I'm Team Tia, obviously. Okay. Something else that has just recently kind of hit me and has been a good mommy reminder is that school projects that students cannot complete on their own is really not a project for that student. That is like a family effort, and I'm not in elementary school anymore, okay? Now, my oldest child is in middle school, and they don't really even allow those children to work on projects at home because they already know what time it is. If you bring the project home, I'm going to oversee it, and now it's kind of low-key, almost sideways, a collective effort. It's a collaboration, right? These children in elementary school, the projects that you guys are giving them, teachers, school districts, I'm sure have learning objectives attached to them that are very, very important. But at the end of the day, if that child can't do it by themselves, who is really getting the grade here? Like, why am I having to whip out hot glue guns and do all of the things for this project that has a rubric like this child is getting a master's degree? Like, hello, it's the 4th grade. It is the 4th grade. Is not even that deep. It shouldn't be this deep. They should be able to do some of these projects by themselves. And that is a hill I am willing to stand on fabulously. Something else that has come into my, this come onto my shopping list quite recently that I tried. I really do love a good glass of wine, but girl, the wine and the empty calories, and I'm trying to live right, as far as like food and fitness math go, the wine just wasn't giving me what I needed. Like, it was messing up my situation. And I'm like, well, I still want to have like an adult beverage, but I don't want it to be doing the most to my efforts. And so I decided to try Truly, which I guess is like a hard seltzer. It's only 100 calories. I got the multi-pack that comes in a red box, and I think it has like tropical punch, fruit punch, like a berry flavor, a lemon lime. And I think that's all the flavors that came in mine, but they are delicious. Like, they're so good. It's not a high alcohol percentage in it either. So it's like you can have one, and not feel gross after. They are so good. If you see them, if you see the red box with all of those flavors I just mentioned, girl, try it, because I think you'll like it. When I go shopping online and I get to a website that is a subscription-based website, do you know how much that kills my shopping vibes? Like, if I see something online, like on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and I click on it, only to get to a website that's like, oh, for members, this is only $24, but for non-members, it's $99. And if you become a member, this is only going to cost you $24 today, but then every month we're going to charge you $55 and you can pause if you don't see anything you like and you can skip and you can do this. And I'm like, girl, I don't have the time to keep up with all of this. You either want my money or you don't. I don't want to become a member. I don't want you charging me $55 a month for something that I may or may not come back to, right? Your inventory. Girl, your inventory is not even going to change that much from month to month. So now you're forcing me to pick things because, you're already taking the money out of my account. So now I feel like I have to pick something. And if you are like me and you like to have things and shop and whatever, but I also kind of like to practice a little bit of minimalism. A part of me also feels bad when I'm buying things that I really don't need. Like I don't as much as, and y'all know I love the color black. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But even I do not need a million pairs of black leggings. And people would be surprised to know that I really don't have as many as you probably think I do. And you know why? That's because every year I go through my closet and I purge leggings, because after a while they might get a rip in them. They might get a hole. Or the black might fade a little or whatever might happen. But I get rid of stuff before I start buying new things just to keep things nice, tidy, and organized and not a chaotic mess. Like right now, you know what I need? I need an accountability coach for my closet. Because girl, when you walk in there, my husband's side is like his clothes are put away. Like I'm sure he goes in there and he's able to find the things that he needs and that's good for him. Right? But then there's my side. And I am a tidy, neat person. But you know what? I run out of gas by the time it's time for me to do my own laundry. I do everyone else's laundry. It's put away, like they can find it. And that really helps me out on a day-to-day basis so that no one is asking me where things are. But then by the time I get to my own laundry, I'm over it. I don't want to fold. I don't want to put away. So you know what I end up doing? All of those clothes that I just washed and dried, they get put into a basket and then I slide them into that closet. And, because we're super close at this point, I'd be getting dressed out of that basket for a long time before I finally break down and put all that stuff away. Like right now, I'm at that point. Right now, I'm at the point where when I get off of the phone with you, I'm going to go work out because I need to. But you know what I need to be doing? Going up there and folding all my clothes up and putting them away. And I low-key should probably go ahead and start purging stuff that I haven't worn or that I'm going to get rid of or whatever to make room for things that I'm going to probably either get for Christmas or buy myself in 2023. Truly, that's what I should be doing. But am I going to do that today? Absolutely not. I'm going to go ahead and put it off until Wednesday. When I can probably allocate more time to it. Because I also feel like it's a project that I want to start and finish all at one time. Like I don't want to only do one basket. And yes, there's more than one basket of clothes up there that needs to be put away. But, no one's perfect. None of us. We're very close, you and I. We're very close. We're as good as it's probably going to get, but we just don't like to fold our clothes, and that's okay. It's not hurting anyone for me to get dressed out of that basket, or at least that's what I tell myself every day. So I say all of that to say, I don't want to be forced to buy something from your website every month because that's just going to create more laundry that I don't want to put away. Why can't I just come up here, buy what I saw at a reasonable price and have you send it to me without having to sign up or feel like I got to sign up to get the best deal, right? No, because you know what? If you could sell it to them for $24, you could probably sell it to me for $50 and still be okay. Right? Because that's what you're going to charge them next month anyway. For all of this stuff, they can come up here and pick whatever they want for $55. But since I don't want to be, signed up to anything, I'm going to have to pay like triple or double the price. And I don't like that. I do not like subscription things. And I won't mention any companies because unfortunately they happen to be like fitness apparel, most of them that do that. And I don't want to block any future blessings, but I don't like that. I do not like that model. The Hallmark Christmas movies have started, and I have been watching them. And those movies do exactly what they were meant to do. They put you in the Christmas spirit. And I can't say that I've been able to actually sit down and watch them, but I'll have the TV on during the day. And this is something that I don't do during any other time of the year. When I'm at home during the day, I have the TV off so that I can actually focus on working, listening out for my phone, because my phone is where all of my ladies live. And honestly, I just like hearing the complete silence of my house when everybody else is at work and school, right? But during the Hallmark Christmas movie season, I like having my TV on during the day so that as I walk back and forth through the house, I can see a little bit of Christmas. And the movies just started a couple days ago. And let me tell you, it has already got me in the Christmas spirit. I have kind of been thinking about, well, maybe I could, go ahead and put the Christmas bedding on my bed. Maybe I could go ahead and start pulling some things up from the basement just to have them ready to go, because let's face it, once Halloween is over next week, it's going to be Christmas time. Regardless of how you feel about Thanksgiving, people are going to start celebrating Christmas. Christmas is already in the stores. They're already selling Black Santas. They're already selling lights and wreaths and things. The whole rollout isn't there, but I'm starting to see the nutcrackers and all of the things. So if you are like me and you have an affinity for Black Santas or nutcrackers, girl, now is the time. When you see them put them out, buy them now. Don't wait and say, oh, I want to see, what they might put out as it gets closer to, don't do that. Buy them now. Buy them now. And then as they continue to put more out, as it gets closer to Thanksgiving, you just continue to buy. You just continue to buy. Because what I've learned is, there's a place in my house for all of the decorations that I pick up. I can put something right here and over there and in that corner. He can go right here. She can go right there. Yeah. Just keep buying the stuff. But when you first see that first initial rollout, girl, that's when you have to get it. If you're looking for a tree topper, as the pretty angels, I've noticed that those go fast and quick too. You have to get the stuff when they first put it out. And I feel like that is all Hallmark's fault because they start those movies so early that it puts you in the Christmas spirit way before you should be there. But here we are and it works. And I can't hate on it. But speaking of Thanksgiving, this year I was trying to decide on what I was going to do about it. Now, normally I'm a big Thanksgiving girl. I love cooking Thanksgiving dinner. It's one of my things. I get super into it. I bake, I cook, I do all the things. Well, I feel like this year I'm a little tired. And I feel like this year, if I can get away with doing the least, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out a way to still, give my family Thanksgiving, but in a way that's not going to have me on my feet for 4 days. Hello. Okay, because here where I live, my kids get the whole week off for Thanksgiving. And every year they're out of school and I spend the majority of that time baking and cooking. And I don't ever get to come in here and sit and watch movies with them or take them to do those last minute fall activities before everything switches to Christmas time. I never get to do that because I'm either at the grocery store fighting y'all for ingredients or I'm in the kitchen actually prepping and cooking and doing all the stuff. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I got to mull it over. Right now probably isn't even the best time for me to be having this conversation because I'm so tired, in this present moment, that asking me anything about something big like Thanksgiving dinner will probably result in me being girl, I can't do it just because I'm tired today. But who knows? By the time Thanksgiving actually rolls around, I might be a more well-rested and relaxed version of myself. One would hope. I'm going to manifest that for myself for the month of November. Girl, you're going to be way more rested next month than you were in September and October. Because I feel like these 2 past months were amazing, but it was a lot. And now I'm tired. Okay. Love is Blind has made its way back to Netflix. And I don't know if you've ever watched Love is Blind, the previous seasons, but Love is Blind is that show where people meet in these pods. Like, so you don't get to see the person. You only get to talk to them. And so people fall in love just by talking, and they get engaged without ever having seen each other, which, the premise of the show is one that we have to acknowledge is the way that it probably should be in real life too, right? You should fall in love with the person and their personality, and then how they look should be second to that, right? But that's not how it works, and we all know it. So of course, after these people get engaged and they meet each other for the first time, that initial meeting, for the most part, everybody is like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited to finally see you and put a face with all this conversation. Yes, this is going to be great. We're going to be together forever. And that's how it normally is until that first night when they get all of the couples together. And so now you get to see people who you were talking to, and you might have had a really strong connection with somebody else, but for whatever reason, you didn't end up actually getting engaged to that person. And that is when it gets messy, because now you see what you could have had, right? And that's where I'm at now on this season. I think it's on episode 4. I think right now we're waiting for episode 4 to come out. But right now we're in that place where some of these people have met each other. And now what you once were very, very happy and excited to have is starting to look, like it could have been not the best choice, right? And that show makes me say to myself, people are, number one, kind of nuts for even going on this. And Married at First Sight too, which is another show that I really like watching. But I'm like, people are crazy, and people have no feelings. Can't they be a little savage? Like, you were just so head over heels in love with this person. You were so excited that y'all matched up and you're engaged and blah, 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 blah. And as soon as you see somebody who obviously rejected you, because in a lot of cases, that's what it is, right? In a lot of cases, these people either get rejected by somebody, right? And so they end up getting engaged to their plan B anyway, which is not good. I feel like if you don't get your first choice, you just shouldn't move on with the show. But that's neither here nor there, because they got to have ratings, right? Or the two of you mutually agreed that no, I think we're going to go with other people because blah, 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 right? But I really do care for you, and I think we would be great friends, but mutually, let's just say it's a no for us. And that's a good situation to be in until now they meet each other in real life and they're like, oh my gosh, I really, really liked you. And you are pretty great looking too. So did I mess up? Did you see who I came here with? Girl, she ain't you. And that's what's happening right now. So if you haven't ever seen Love is Blind, go ahead and sit down with some real good healthy snacks. Girl, get you some hummus and some celery and some bottled water, and you get your cozy clothes on and your blanket. Tell everybody to leave you alone, and you start watching Love is Blind so that we can talk about it when we come back, which, because I called you so late, will be very, very soon. It'll probably be next week, actually. So we'll be able to talk about it next week when we come back, because, your girl was a little tardy to the party. I wonder if Candy ever got her money from that. Anyway, I hope you found the information in this episode to be very helpful. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me and I'll see if I can't clear some things up for you. But just know any mathematical questions as far as your calories and your macros, without actually seeing a printout, I probably won't be able to truly assist you with that, which is why I'm encouraging everybody to go have the test done and if you end up going and getting it done somewhere at like a gym or a sports training facility or somewhere like that where the people might be trainers or they have a nutrition background, don't forget to ask them if they wouldn't mind kind of helping you break down macros for whatever caloric intake you receive or whatever your BMR is, right? Don't forget to ask them about that. Because keep in mind, that number is the amount of calories that you can consume within 24 hours, and still pretty much maintain where you are if you're not working out. But since we are all working out, have them break those macros down for you if they're willing to do it for free. Or for like a little small, can you cash app them off something to the side that they don't have to claim on their taxes, and let them tell you what your macros are, so that you can, best prepare yourself by just having the information, right? Because sometimes the best first step is just getting the information. We don't always have to get things and like hit the ground running. Sometimes it's good to just get the information and just sit with it and see how we feel about it and come up with the plan that's going to work for us. We don't even have to act on the plan. Not right away, we don't. I don't know who told us that. But sometimes it's just good to have the information in our back pocket and just know this is where I am. I'm okay with where I am. And if I do want to change anything, if I do decide that I want to switch up what I'm doing, this is the baseline for me to switch it up. Girl, I felt like this was a lot, but when that next episode comes out, we'll be talking more about things. So write down what you need to write down as far as notes and message me if you have any questions. Again, I'm Tia, a certified group fitness instructor, a budding precision nutrition food expert, and a behavior change specialist. I help women every day develop healthier habits that line up with the goals that they have for themselves. If you are in need of accountability, gaining momentum, consistency, or maybe you have questions about the very next online group coaching program that will be coming in 2023, hit me up. You can email me at tiavfitness@gmail.com or on Instagram at tiavfitness, or visit my website, tiavfitness.com. This was another episode of Tia's Table. Thank you for coming back to the table and talking to me. I will be talking to you very, very soon. Remember, when you're out, compliment a woman when you see her. Make her feel good about herself. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you, and never knock another woman's hustle. I will talk to you next time. Love you, girl. Bye.